And I ask all of the players who we interview, the same question. When you played, who was maybe your toughest matchup that you remember? Like when we are meeting these guys, they're on our schedule. That can be maybe your teammate who always kill you in practice, but also it can be somebody who you matched up with when you were playing.
My toughest matchup would have been Dirk Nowitzki. Tough, man, because he can post you up, he can dribble, he can drive, shoot the fadeaway. You never know what he was going to do. You know, it looks like he's going to the basket, and then he stops, and then going way back, one leg up behind the head, like Bird.
Yeah.
You know, tough. You know, the only thing you can hope is that he missed the shot.
Yeah, that is actually. I was watching it. Blake Griffin talking about Dirk Nowitzki. I don't know, maybe if you saw that video. He said the most frustrating thing when you're playing the Dallas Mavericks during the Nowitzki era, they had the microphones that are directly on the rim, so you could hear the swoosh. And he said the most, and even worse than that was that everything was moving so slow. Like he would go, then on the top of his head, then shoot, and if you take like 1 second. And you're still just watching that basketball, I would say, flowing in, and then you just hear it go perfectly crisp to the net.
Yeah. They did it on purpose because the sound makes you believe that you're a great shooter. But Dirk Nowitzki is a great shooter, or was a great shooter. So when I used to play him, there were a lot of he made a lot of those shots. Yeah, he was a tough matchup, man. He was tough.
Okay, and then I would say is there anybody from your era who doesn't get enough recognition, maybe on the 5 position? You played maybe against Yao Ming, who is a Hall of Famer at the end of the day, but his career was relatively short. Maybe Marcus Camby was, or somebody like that. Like, is there somebody who maybe is not talked about, like Dirk Nowitzki or maybe Kevin Garnett from your era, but somebody who actually gave you a lot of trouble, who was underrated at the end of the day for what he did on the court?
I think Dirk Nowitzki's for sure, and also another guy is Chris Bosh.
Mm-hmm.
They both play the 4, but when they move to the 5, they give you a lot of trouble because of their ability to shoot, dribble, drive to the basket, rebound, block shots. Somewhat of a complete player at the 4 or at the 5 that doesn't get a lot of recognition or credit for what they brought to the table. Chris Bosh was a superstar in Toronto.
Yep.
He went to the Miami Heat because of his skill set.
Yeah.
He had a 3-point shot. He can rebound. He can play a little bit of defense. Dirk Nowitzki is the same thing.
Yeah.
He's unstoppable if you let him play. And getting physical with Dirk was not an issue, because he would be in trouble because he can try to put it on the floor. It's not like he was slow. It was because of his skills.
Mm-hmm.
So I believe those 2 players.
And I have to then come back when I mentioned Yao Ming. Your reaction was, he was a giant among giants. How is that? You're a 7-footer, so you're taller than 99.9% of everybody. And then you competing with Yao Ming, who was listed at 7'6", who makes you look short.
Made me look short and made me disappear. So if I stay behind him, you don't see me. Because I was so skinny, but he was like a tree. He was like a tree, heavy, big legs, strong. If he hits you with the hip, 10 days you had an injury list. For sure. But he's another player that doesn't get a lot of credit. He push you under the basket, knows how to play the game, had a good, decent shot, post-up player. I hated to play against him. I hated it because it's gonna, work you to exhaustion. Because of his strength, is Chinese, the Great Wall of China, man. What the hell?
Yeah,
He was tough.